There we go. All right, legends, welcome to my first live stream for this week. Welcome. I'm sure a lot of you have missed me because I got a lot of personal messages. Dewald, when you're going live, when you're going live. Sorry guys, this week has just been absolutely crazy, and every time I want to go live, something happens. Okay, but now I'm here. It is Wednesday in the middle of the week. I'm doing my first live stream. It's uncharacteristic of me to do such things. Bad Dewald. Okay, but I'm here, legends. Let's do a little bit of technical analysis. But the one thing I can tell you, I am inside of our Legends Pro community every single day, explaining scenarios, trading opportunities, analyzing, educating. That's where I spend most of my time. So if you guys want, okay, to be part of a great community with like-minded people where I do spend a lot of my time, okay, link is down in the description, guys. Link is always down in the description. Okay, it is Legends Community. This is where you sign up to join our Legends Pro community. So that is where I am committed, and I am live not live every day, but I am there chatting, providing analysis and so forth. Okay, right, legends, let's do a little bit of technical analysis and take stock of where we are as per the thumbnail. Is there a chance, okay, that we have formed a little bit of a local low here for the moment and we can get some nice little upwards momentum? And as per the title, is there a chance to claim that high? That's what I want to discuss today. Is this the low to claim this high? Or is this a local low and we are still going to continue the range a little bit more sideways? That is what I want to discuss today. So make sure that you tune in, you hit that like button, not to miss out on any alpha. You need to stay until the end of the stream. This is, unfortunately, maybe for some, or fortunately for some, going to be a shorter, powerful live stream because I have my alarm set here next to me, and when my alarm goes off, I need to unfortunately say goodbye because I need to go do something else. It's just, legends, you know, okay? Just some weeks are just absolutely insane and crazy and busy, but I'm here. I'm going to get through the scenarios and what I see here on the price of Bitcoin as quickly as I possibly can, and then hopefully I'll see you tomorrow again, and maybe on Friday again. Okay, so I can't promise anything, but I'm here, legends. So remember to smash up that like button. I will go through the comments in a moment, but first I want to do a little bit of technical analysis. But I see you guys. I see all of you. Elizabeth, welcome. James XRP, welcome. Jack, the mods in the house. Stefan1, I see you guys. I see Stefan1 also wrote a nice little message. A big announcement. I've been a pro legend community on YouTube, and now I'm in the pro legend community. Reasons are simple. He basically made money to pay for the Legends Pro community, following the setups and the education that we provide here, and during the live streams, myself, Andy. Okay, so well done, legend, and it's great to see you inside of the Legends Pro community. And right, guys, my brother here in the house as well. Yes, boot, hope om soos kaas te wees. He's basically saying, stop being so scarce. Why didn't you do a live stream? Okay, well, I'm here, legends. I am here. It's just been an absolute crazy week. So now let's dive into the price action on the price of Bitcoin. So what I want to do is let's first go here onto the 8 hour. Okay, so let's zoom out and then we can start zooming in onto the lower time frames. Let's just take stock of where we are. Okay, so there is definitely, guys, I'm not going to switch on all the Elliott wave scenarios and go through all the folders that I have. I'm just going to draw it out very quickly. Okay, there is a scenario where we have formed a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, in a contracting diagonal. Okay, if this is a contracting diagonal where this is the end of the impulse, the correction cannot end over here. Okay, because what you would like to do in this scenario is take a time flip from the low to the high of the structure, and minimum time requirement is after the 0.382. That's where you want the corrective structure to come to an end if this is the high in a contracting diagonal. Okay, so you can see that it's a little bit early, guys. It's a little bit early if this is the scenario. You want the correction to still continue at least until the second or third, the first week of October, which means that the entire September can still be a ranging market. Okay, and I mean, you can go even to the 0.618, you can go to the 1 extension, but this is the minimum requirement. After a 5-wave structure, you want to see a corrective structure that at least finishes after the 0.382, which is the minimum target. The preferred target is actually the 1-to-1 extension, which is only at 21 December. So guys, this can still chop and chop and chop and chop and chop. Okay, so in this scenario, the correction minimum requirement is first week of October. So in this scenario, what you would like to see is that this is potentially your first leg of your correction. It's only the first leg. Remember, after a 5-wave structure, what do you want to see? You want to see a 3-wave corrective structure. This could be 1. You can get a 2 and you can get a 3, and then you have a beautiful 3-wave structure, and then you continue to the upside. Okay, but you want the correction to finish after the 0.382, of which this could potentially only be the first little leg to the downside. Okay, and maybe it's still going to continue here to the downside, but I will discuss some of the probabilities in a moment. Right, then there is a slightly more bullish case scenario. Okay, guys, I just have to discuss, okay, because some people are going to say, Dewald, you are smoking your socks, but I have to discuss all the possible scenarios, because what if it's not a contracting diagonal? What if this is not a contracting diagonal? Then what is it? Okay, what if this was not the high? What if this was the high? Okay, so I have to look at all possible scenarios. What if this is a 1 and a 2? And what if this is another 1 and a 2, or another 1 and a 2? What if it's a double 1, 2? Then there's a chance the correction could be done. There's a chance, okay? And this is why I put in the thumbnail, all-time high. Is it a possibility? Are we going to break the historical cycle of not having a bearish September? Well, if the bulls have any chance of claiming these highs, okay, it needs to be a double 1, 2. Okay, it needs to be a 1, 2, 1, 2, or even a 1, 2. And I've explained during many live streams why this or this could be the high. So this is either, okay, in this last 1, 2, if this is a 1, 2, it has to be said that the 4th wave inside here is very small. It doesn't really make sense. But then some people are saying, well, what if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which ended over here? Okay, I've gone through these scenarios. On the regular scale, we tapped the 0.618, which invalidates a 4th wave. But on the log scale, the 618 was not tapped. So however you want to count the structure, what I can tell you is, if this is the high, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if this is the high, the correction needs to be done very soon. It needs to come to an end, because this is an awfully long correction that makes sense compared to the impulse. So in this scenario, there's a chance that price can form impulsive structures to the upside and continue momentum and claiming the high. Okay. Right, guys, I'm just highlighting the scenarios here at the moment. So, I'm just here on the larger time frame discussing the possibilities and scenarios that I see at the moment. Right, a double 1, 2 from a theoretical perspective carries higher probability than a diagonal. So I'm just applying theory over here, and I'm just showering you guys with theory. If this is a diagonal, okay, versus a 1, 2, 1, 2, the double 1, 2 carries higher probability theoretically. Okay, it's not to say that it is definitely the scenario that's going to play out. I'm just highlighting the probabilities. As long as the bears do not claim this low, this could definitely be a 1, 2, 1, 2, and off to the races you go, as long as this low is protected. Okay, which is actually more bullish, guys. It's way more bullish to form a double 1-2 than a contracting or leading diagonal. Right, so now this is what I wanted to discuss here on the 8-hour time frame. Zooming out ever so slightly, let's go on to the 1-hour time frame. Now let's look at this structure here to the downside. Okay, what a very very complex corrective structure. I mean, I have counted this in so many ways. We have shared scenarios in so many ways. What is this? Okay, can it be finished? I mean, there was a possibility that it could have been finished here. There was a possibility that it could have been finished here. Okay, but the probabilities of the one thing I want to discuss over here, guys, is if this is extremely bearish and we are forming the multiple 1-2s here to the downside. Basically, you form a 1-2, okay? There's your first 1-2. And then you have another 1-2, okay? There's your second 1-2. And now what you want to form is a third 1-2. 1-2, okay? And price should not claim this high. It should tank aggressively. I mean, it can easily take the price to sub $100,000. Easy. Because what you want to see over here is selling pressure needs to start kicking in. Selling volume needs to absolutely go bananas here to the downside, and it needs to slice through every single support line that we have to the downside. It needs volume to fall. And this will be a clue for me from a trading perspective. So when I start jumping into the smaller time frames, that is where I know what to look for bullish momentum and for bearish momentum. If price for some reason decides to say, I've had enough, I'm falling here to the downside, aggressively with high volume, that will be my clue. High selling pressure. You want to see volume candles like this even higher, okay? Because the third wave inside of this entire structure, this move to the downside has to have the most amount of selling pressure. Okay, and then after I see this, okay, I'm going to be very interested in longs. If I see this to the downside, I'm going to wait for price to do this. Chop. It needs to start curling around. Okay, and maybe that will have that little diagonal or parallel channel, and then when it starts breaking out, yeah, boy oh boy, that is where I'm going to be very interested in longs. Okay, because if you're forming impulsive structure to the downside, okay, you are going to get a relief rally. Make no mistake, guys, this is a very dangerous structure, because when you form an impulse to the downside, you could form a 3-wave corrective structure and continue. We're basically going to start the bear market potentially if this happens. Okay, but I can take advantage of this retracement. Okay, I can take serious from a trading, you guys, it's just from a trading perspective. I don't care whether we're in a bear market, I can still make money. Okay. But I know what I need to look for. I'm going to leave. If price wants to fall here, let it fall. Let it fall. Okay, I'm not going to do anything. Maybe I'll play some shorts along the way. If there's nice little consolidation areas and little bull flags to the downside, I can take advantage of shorts here to the downside while price is absolutely just tanking. Okay, and I can even take some short opportunities inside of this little structure. But I can tell you guys now, once I see this, choppy, it has to chop downwards. Okay, and for those of you that are very familiar with patterns, any pattern that slopes to the downside has a high chance of breaking to the upside. Any pattern that slopes to the upside has a high chance of breaking to the downside. Okay, it's just some basic pattern knowledge over there. So, very interested in a long over here. So, I don't know. No one has a crystal ball. I don't know whether price is going to do this, okay, or whether price is going to do this. So, I need price to show me direction. Right, so the double 1-2 or triple 1-2, where you basically have 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, it needs, guys, it needs to happen now. Okay, it needs to happen now. If price is going to take this high at let's call it $113,500. If price is going to take this high, the probabilities for this scenario significantly starts to reduce. Unfortunately, no scenario ever almost gets invalidated. It just starts lowering and hiring probabilities for certain scenarios. So for the bulls, that high needs to be claimed. Okay. So I know I'm talking about a scary scenario here to the downside, okay? But we have not claimed the high yet, so it's still on the cards, unfortunately. Okay, so what do the bulls need to do? Okay, by the way, guys, I am in a long trade from a little bit lower down. I've taken a lot of profits already, and I left the moon bag open. And I will share with you guys now why and how I got into the long trade, and where I am very interested in a short trade. Okay, so I'm going to stick here on the higher time frame, 1 hour, 15 minute. I'm going to leave the smaller time frames for the pro community, but I'll also share with you guys a trade that we all took together. Well, I didn't take the trade because I already had an entry from lower down, but I know some of the legends jumped into that trade with great risk management. Okay, so in a nutshell, guys, if the momentum is finished for now, the bulls needs to claim this high. Once this high is claimed, probabilities starts shifting in the bulls' favor. Okay, I'm not saying once you claim the high, okay, it's just up. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is once you claim this high, there's a higher chance that you could still go sideways, but this high has a very high chance of being claimed again, regardless of what happens after you claim this high. So you could go up, claim the high, you could go claim the low again, but now I'm not looking at an impulsive structure to the downside. I'm now looking at a corrective structure, which means that even if I claim the lows over here, okay, I could be building up a nice little swing position to go and claim this high again. So I'm waiting for confirmation. And often, you know, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard the saying in trading that says, patience pays off. Patience, patience, patience. I am patiently waiting to build a swing position to claim this high. And I have not built any swing position yet because I need confirmation. I don't care if my entry is higher, okay? I'm not in the game to try and catch the bottom here, okay? Or add to my position until I get liquidated, because that's a recipe to liquidate your account. I want confirmation. I would rather have a higher entry with confirmation that I'm going to claim that high. And therefore, I'm being patient. Very, very patient. Okay, it's frustrating, but I can tell you guys now I can still trade the ranges, the smaller time frames. But from a swing trading perspective, I'm waiting for confirmation. So once we claim this high, but I mean especially this little high over here, now that is the double confirmation. You know, the double tick that you want. You know, this is the high that needs to be claimed. Once this high is claimed, guys, I'm going in heavy. Okay, well, when I say heavy, not my entire account, but you know, the maximum that I'm willing to risk for this trade once this high is claimed. Okay, and dare I say that this structure that's forming here locally does have the potential to claim this high, which I want to discuss now at the moment. Okay, so now let's zoom into this little structure on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, and before I continue, guys, remember, if you want to join our Legends Pro community, where I share all the scenarios, like, you know, just to give you guys an idea of what I shared this morning. So first scenario I shared is, just don't mind the Elliott wave count that I did over there. I was like, well, maybe there's a chance for a, can you guys see? Yes, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but what I basically highlighted, that little yellow circle over there. Can you guys see that little yellow circle? I said, guys, if the bulls have any chance of momentum to the upside, that low should not be claimed. Okay, and well, we actually moved up from there. Right, if the low is claimed, I will still attempt a long at the naked point of control, but I will treat it as a scalp, because you could form a lower high and fall to the downside. So I was looking just to take advantage of this little move here to the upside. So can you guys see that even though I'm expecting momentum to start turning around, I can still play the fake outs with good risk management, the SFP. I mean, you protect position, you in, you're out like a pro. Okay. And then I said, well, what if we don't? What if this low is protected? What if this low is protected? What you want to see is a higher low. So we either claim the 786 or we break the trend. So I said, legends, I will play an SFP from the 786, or if it front runs the 786, I will play a break of trend. Okay, and then obviously what happened, you guys know what happened now with the price. Okay, yeah, I just highlighted, but I'm actually in, this is why I didn't play the breakout, because I'm going to trade from much lower. Okay, I played the retest of the point of control of this entire range over here. But as you guys can see, I'm updating the community with scenarios. Okay, and this is now also a scenario that I'm going to discuss here in a little bit of detail. Okay, here's the breakout playing out, you know, where to put your stop loss, where do we plan to take profits, because you never know, price can roll over at any stage. Okay, leave a moon bag open for higher levels. Right, this scenario I'm going to discuss now, and this is basically just where I posted I'm going live. But also something that I want to highlight, guys, is that inside of our chat section, we have some amazing people. We have people sharing Elliott wave scenarios, okay, probabilities, possibilities, amazing conversations taking place, surrounding yourself with like-minded people. So really a great community to be a part of. If you want to be part of this community, here's the link, okay? It's not, guys, I'm going to be honest with you guys, this community is not just about signals. Okay, if you want a signals group, go and join Andy's group, go and join Matt's group. I think, and there's a whole lot of other signal groups out there as well. This community, for me, the vision, the goal of this community is to teach you how to analyze and trade and build a trading plan so that you can become a successful trader yourself. This is the purpose of this community. Okay, it's to learn. It's to learn together, to be surrounded by like-minded people, to brainstorm scenarios. But you press the button and you design your trading plan according to your own rules. Okay. Right, so legends, now what I want to discuss over here is the following, okay? The most obvious, and unfortunately I have not built this out from an Elliott wave perspective, there is the chance, okay, that this is a 1, 2, okay, another 1, 2. Now you guys know the more 1, 2s you get, the more bullish it becomes. 1, 2, okay, 1, 2, and now you want to start seeing, you want to see acceleration here to the upside. You want to see some nice green volume kicking in, and you want to see a nice little guard candle here to the upside. Then what I will be looking for is 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. So I want to see this. Okay, it starts in a messy way. You have this clear guard candle in the middle that connects the two structures with each other. Once I see this, I will be looking for a shorting opportunity. And that's what I'm saying. This structure has the potential to claim this high, or at least get very close to it. Okay, so I'm in a long already from a little bit further down. And I think also the long has already been missed over here, because if you go here on the 5-minute time frame, you know, and this is what I highlighted to the Legends Pros this morning, is there was your trend. Okay, let's just keep it simple. I'm applying my strategy. There was your trend. There was the breakout. If you want to FOMO into a long over here, well, good luck, right? If you have a strategy from a risk management perspective, good luck. Okay, this is not an area where I do anything. In fact, I would rather consider shorts. I would rather play an SFP if I see an SFP from the highs. But this is not a place where I jump into longs. Okay, the long already took place. Right. So now, also, let's just stay on this little structure. The reason I am personally counting, and this is also something that I highlighted inside of our Legends Pro community early this morning, is to say that I do not like this structure to be a 1 and a 2. Okay. ABC. I'm sure that's how many people are counting it. Yes, it is a beautiful three-wave structure, and this is why the break of trend made sense to me. But you cannot count this as a 1 and a 2. It's too long compared to the impulse. Let me show you what I mean. If I zoom into the smaller time frames and I take a time fib from the low of this structure to the high of this impulse, because you can count it as a 5-wave structure to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. But now here's your problem. Look at how long your correction is compared to your impulse. Okay, so there's two ways in which you can fix this. This is either an A, B, C to the upside, which is corrective, and you're going to take this low and tumble down. Okay, or this is maybe a 1, 2. The correction ended over here. This is a new impulse, 1, 2, where this low needs to be protected. So you want to start seeing price accelerate here to the upside if this is a double 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, price needs to start accelerating. Volume needs to start kicking in. That will be the clue. If price does not accelerate to the upside, this is where I'm looking for a short. Okay. Local WXY structure here to the upside. Just to keep it simple, guys, you have formed an A, B, C in a W. Now you can see, instead of counting this as an impulse to the upside, I'm counting it as a correction to the upside, which means that you could miserably reject and fall and claim the lows again. Okay, and this is why I'll be paying attention to these levels. So I'm in a long from over here. This becomes a very interesting profit-taking area, because I know that if volume is not going to start kicking in and price is not going to smash out of here and it just chops. Okay, if price is going to chop very slowly here to the upside, okay, there's a high chance it's going to reject inside of this zone. So I need price to show me what it wants to do. At the moment, price is in a no trading zone for me. I'm already positioned, but there's a potential shorting opportunity coming on. Okay, so I'm counting the structure as an A, B, C in a W, A, B, C in an X, and an A, B, which makes sense. Okay, an A, B makes sense that ended over here because B waves can be very long. Okay, that's fine. And so you're now basically forming an A, B, C, and it rejects. Inside of this zone is also a very interesting zone, because you will see that we have an immense amount of liquidity in this zone. There is a lot of liquidity in this zone. If you go onto the heat map, okay, let me see if I can open that. Go to model 2. Let's see. I might need to move my face here to the other side so everyone can see. Let's go to I think it's the 1 week. Wait for that to load up. I mean, guys, you can see there's a massive pool of liquidity, even just slightly above here at 112,500. Okay, but there's a lot of liquidity lying in the zone. So it is a high potential rejection area. Okay. So I am definitely looking for shorts, okay, depending on what price shows me. Just want to put myself back here, my sexy self back here. Right, let's just keep it simple, guys. Also, if I switch on some levels, okay, if I switch on some levels, you can see price is currently, this is where we got the rejection. Why did we reject here? And why is price still struggling here? Because we are at a weekly naked point of control. And you can see the swing failure from this little pivot as well. So, I mean, this was a beautiful swing failure pattern. Bam. Anyways, bam again, here to the downside. But to the upside, inside of this zone, you have a daily level at the 1.236. And you have a naked point of control at the 1.382. This is why I'm very interested in shorts in this zone. Okay. I am not going to attempt a short if this zone is not hit. It's just as simple as that. If price wants to fall down here from where it is at the moment, then it's good, guys. I already took profits from this long. And majority of the profits already. I've just left a small little moon bag open for this area. If we do not get here, I will be stopped out at break even with profits. So I'm good. Okay, I've already planned my trades. I'm already in that position. But make sure, guys, if you want to have these levels on your chart, okay, let's just clean it up here. Because I know people often ask me, Dewald, how did you draw that trend-based fib? If you have a W, X, Y, okay, you take your trend-based fib from the low, okay, because this is A, B, C in W, so you take it from this low, okay, you click at the high here, you click at the low, and then you get your levels here to the upside. Okay, in a WXY, it is very uncommon to hit the 1.618. So this is the most common zone where price needs to reject. In a WXY to the upside. Right, do I still have time? I'm almost, guys, I have 5 minutes left. So these are basically the scenarios that I'm watching. Okay, so now I'm going to take the last 5 minutes of this live stream and go through some comments. Remember to smash up that like button for the best deals on the exchanges. Guys, as always, links are down in the description, as you know. Okay, I've got Bluffin and Weeks. Those, these are the exchanges, guys. Bluffin is one of my favorite exchanges at the moment. I do a lot of trading on Bluffin. You'll see all the P&L screenshots that I take as well is most probably on Bluffin. Yes, this is the trade that I am in right over here. 108.500. 108.500. Okay, this is where I entered. Right over there. Stop below the low. Got the upwards momentum. Protected my position. And then took profits. Okay, here on the way up when we took the highs. Blah, 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 blah. But so I'm still in this position. Let's see what the bulls or the bears wants to do over here. Right, let's go through a little bit of comments. Okay, hello Dewald, what's your opinion on ETH and Solana at the moment? Hugo, it's literally going to take me too long to analyze more charts here at the moment. Okay, I literally have, no jokes, I have 4 minutes left. I have a hard stop, unfortunately, guys. Man, I see Arweave on the other tab. Yes, Arweave, okay? I want to talk about Arweave here quickly. I already did the technical analysis, so it's not going to take me too long. Let's just do higher time frame here at the moment, guys. Let's just do higher time frame. What I love about AR, okay? What I love about AR is you have a momentum to the upside, an impulse to the upside, and you have a beautiful three-wave structure. Three-wave structure. When you see this, you need to get excited because whatever happens here, okay, there's a high chance you're going to claim that high again because you have a three-wave structure. If it showed me this, I would have said there's danger. It's going to make a lower high and fall to the downside. Okay, so can this be the low? I don't know, but you can apply your great trading strategy. You can see the beautiful swing failure pattern. Okay, look at this little pivot. It dips below, stops everyone out, and now it looks like it's breaking trends over here. Does it have the chance to move higher? Absolutely. If you do take a trade, remember, profit-taking area, profit-taking area, profit-taking area. And the reason I'm highlighting aggressive profit-taking areas over here, because you might be asking yourself, well, Dewald, if the probabilities are high to take this high, why do you want to take profits over here? Because I have one concern. Okay, if I take a trend-based fib from the high, measuring this corrective structure to the low, to the high, okay, in a corrective structure, you at least want, you know, the 1-to-1 extension, the 1.236, and the, you know, you want to hit one of these levels, and these levels have not been hit. Okay, is there a chance for the low to be in? Yes. Can price still go down lower before it goes up? Yes, that's why you have to take profits. Because from a trend-based fib extension perspective, there's still a chance you can come down lower without taking this low. So you still make a higher low. I mean, that 1-to-1 extension is absolutely beautiful. Okay. So there's still a chance, a good chance for a higher low and continuation. But there's a chance that the low could be in because you already formed a three-wave structure. Sorry guys, I know this looks extremely messy, okay? Three-wave structure, regardless of what happens here, there's a high chance in taking that high. This is what I love about AR. If you want to attempt a trade over here, just practice good risk management. Remember, links for the exchanges, Bluff and Weeks, you can both on these exchanges, you can trade AR. Hi Dewald, can you how are you pulling the time fib? For me, I have to choose 3 points. Yes, Justin. So what you need to do is, so let's measure the time here for AR at the moment quickly. Okay, so let me just clean it up ever so slightly. Okay, so if you want to measure, okay, this is what I now want to measure. You have an impulse and you have a correction. Now you want to try and figure out, well, is the correction from a timing perspective done? So what you do is you click on your time fib. Okay, I think it will be here in your options over here. I just have shortcuts. And then you take it from the low of the structure, you click once. Okay. Then to the high of the structure and you click twice. 1, 2. Okay. So what you can see, and this is also now the beauty about AR, is that this low, there's my alarm guys, I'm going to have to call it quits soon. Okay, this low was made after the 1-to-1 extension, which is actually a beautiful ratio for an impulse and a correction. So from a timing perspective, this low makes sense. Okay, and that is how you draw your time fib. Okay, legends, have yourselves an amazing day. Thanks for joining the stream. Unfortunately, I need to go. I will see you all in the next one. Trade safe and cheers for now.